You're listening to Create Wealth Through Franchising, and I'm your host, Kim Daly. In my 20 years as a franchise consultant, I've helped hundreds of people achieve their dreams of building and scaling franchise businesses to create wealth. The interview you're about to hear can also be found on my YouTube channel, where I post new franchising content multiple times per week. Please take a moment to subscribe to the podcast and to my YouTube channel at kimdaly.tv. Now, enjoy the show. Many times, when people think about owning a franchise business, they consider what they know or what they think they will enjoy owning. And while as your franchise consultant, I do want you to enjoy your business and I want it to be needed in your community, these are not the most important characteristics that will lead to your business happily ever after. So what is? Selecting a franchisor with a strong leadership team, a team that inspires you, with a culture of abundance, a team that leads with confidence, that helps you out when you are feeling less than confident. A team with a vision for the future that you buy into, people that you get to know and respect, that you believe have your best interests at heart. These are significantly more important characteristics to your success in a franchise than selecting a business that you know something about or you think is needed in your community. 2020 was a tough year for many businesses, but for those franchisees who were partnered with abundant leadership, they were inspired to adapt and overcome, to focus on the opportunity, not the obstacle, and they were inspired to keep going. Today, you're going to meet my great friend, Lance Freeman, who is the VP of Franchisor Development for one of the largest fitness franchisors in the world, Xponential Fitness. Xponential is an example of how world-class leadership can make all the difference, not just when times are good, but more importantly, when times are tough. So today I have the great pleasure of interviewing a very close friend of mine, a longtime colleague of mine. His name is Lance Freeman. So welcome to the conversation, Lance.
Oh, thanks for having me. I love doing this with you and appreciate that you taking the opportunity to work with me.
Oh, ditto. So the conversation I want to have with you today is really, when many people think about owning a franchise, they think about what they know, or they think about what their community needs, or they come to the idea of what is the business based on things external to them. And when they come to me, I'm one of the biggest advocates of selecting the right franchise is about finding a partnership, because ultimately that's what you're buying, right? You're buying into people, a culture, a vision, and you're saying, hey, pick me to be the brand ambassador to take your vision back to my hometown and go build that business, correct?
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more. When I think of one of our brands, Club Pilates, we awarded about 900 licenses with that brand. Probably 80% of them, before coming to confirmation day, had never taken a Pilates class in their life. And so it's kind of a big misconception that people need to be either, the technician in the brand or have a lot of franchising experience to get into, franchising. And that's not the case at all.
And how exactly are those 900 franchisees or locations doing?
They're doing really well. We're proud to say, as a part of Expo, we've got about 3,500 licenses awarded, and we've never had a permanent closure, so we've done really well, and that's through pandemic. So we're really proud of that record, if you will.
And this is exactly why we're going to have this conversation about the importance of selecting a franchisor based on the caliber of the franchisor and their vision and their resources and what they're trying to accomplish, and having a candidate go through the process to say, hey, pick me, please, please, please. So let's talk a little bit. First of all, let's back up and talk a little bit about who Xponential Fitness is. And then let's talk a little bit about your vetting process of candidates.
Thank you. Well, I guess on its face, we are the largest boutique fitness platform really in the world by a pretty substantial gap. We've got just short of 1,700 doors open domestically and other We're in about 12 countries at this point, and so it's a really large platform. Literally, really just started building it about 6 years ago, so it's gone through some really, kind of rocket ship growth. But the thing that we're most proud of, again, is just the success of our franchisees and really being able to build, a great business, wealth, and be able to scale and be successful in our system. So we kind of rate success with happy franchisees making money is how we look at it. And we do really treat the relationship as a partnership. We don't look at it as they're stewards of the brand and they're going to do, what we tell them to do, whether they like it or not. It really is a partnership type of relationship that we really have with our franchisees. Anthony, our CEO, is very proud in saying that, we've got over 1,000 franchisees and we've never had a lawsuit, and so I've heard franchise attorneys say you'll never get to 100 franchisees before you have your first lawsuit. And so Anthony's, it just speaks to the way Anthony does business and, his leadership, with our company, from the top down is just incredible. He's just an amazing guy.
Yeah, and to what do you attribute this abundant confidence, especially after the year we all just lived through when, many franchises in your industry were paralyzed and are still paralyzed, sadly?
Well, I mean, again, I do bring it right back to what you said, a big thing that you're looking at in terms of buying a franchise model or getting into a system is what does their leadership look like? And I think, it's harder to evaluate franchise models when everything is, roses. But I think it's actually a great time to investigate brands when it's not so good and see how, they're faring, see how their partner has been with them in that process. Anthony, I heard someone use this analogy, and I had to go back and watch Forrest Gump again, but they said, oh yeah, Anthony is like Forrest Gump, Captain Ron and Forrest Gump, where, if you watch that scene where, he battled through that storm, while all others kind of took safe harbor and all those, boats got wiped out, and he was kind of last man standing. And that's, kind of a good reflection of where we're at today and the decision that Anthony really made at the start of the pandemic, where pretty much all of our competition kind of took safe harbor, if you will, to wait out the storm. He made the decision to stand up and really battle through, where most franchise companies furloughed, tons of employees. We didn't furlough a single employee last year. In fact, we added employees to our support center to make sure that we were supporting our franchisees and getting them through this. So that kind of leadership, I think, is why, we're on the other side of this. And now, instead of trying to figure out how we get out of this, it's, not to sound, overconfident here, but it's kind of in our rear view mirror, and we're working on other innovations and growing. In fact, we opened 250 stores last year, on top of not, having any permanent closures. So we really made the choice to battle through, and it really put us in a really strong position now on the other side of it, which is pretty exciting given that there's a lot of pent up demand now, and we know that things are coming back quickly.
Hey, Daly Coach fans, if this franchise sounds like a fit for you, I would love to be your Daly Coach. Email me right now for a totally free consultation at inquire@kimdaly.tv. This conversation defies the logic that most people would have, that I would have if I didn't know otherwise. 250 stores opened during a pandemic. Like, say, what? Did you actually just say that? It's just, and so when to think about the process, like when candidates were coming to me and I was saying, hey, think about fitness during COVID. I had a sales job to do, if you will, and I'm not even a salesperson in this process, right? But for those people that were willing to trust my process and trust my leadership, that I wasn't leading them down a rabbit hole, and they got to the process where they could actually talk to your franchise owners, what we call validation. I mean, we helped people say yes to fitness dreams in 2020. Many of my candidates did, right, Lance?
Absolutely. And it's interesting because, there were a lot of folks that, were short-sighted and didn't really look at the long ball play here. I always, I've been in retail for more than 25 years, and having gone through '08, could see what was going to happen here. And so people would ask me, why would I want to get into, this or fitness right now? And I said, why wouldn't you? You're able to negotiate historically low lease rates right now, 20 to 25% below market. You can ask for the world with landlords and get it, and really negotiate your largest fixed expense for the long term and set yourself up for success and really reduce your overall investment. And on top of that, while our competition is getting cleared, we have this pent up demand that's building and swinging back to us. And so it's interesting at this point, people are,
Hold on. As people got the COVID-19, not the virus, but like the freshman 15.
there's a number of reasons why we're seeing it, but there's really a wellness boom happening now. We're seeing thousands and thousands of new members coming into our business every week right now. Partly to that, I used to call it the COVID-15, but then it moved to the COVID-20, I think, as time went by. And so definitely there's people that really realize they need to get back, to working out. They need to get back into a community. They're realizing they can't do it at home. They're not motivated. Anthony likes to say the at-home kitchen, never replaced the restaurant, and people want to be back, and so we're seeing that in a big way. We have a lot of displaced members that were going to other businesses that are not around anymore that are now coming into our business. And we also have an interesting community now that's realizing they need to get healthy to combat this virus or other viruses, and it's time to and really start working on that. Boutique fitness has been really killing the big box gym for the last decade, but now even more so as we have a really controlled environment that people can come in and feel safe and really get results and have fun while they're doing it. That's a big part of our equation.
So just to summarize some of the key points right now. So we've talked about how selecting a franchise, what you said earlier, I was saying this a lot last year, like this is the best time ever to explore a franchise because anybody can make a business look good when times are good. But how much more difficult is it to get good validation from franchise owners when times are tough and some of the toughest business times we've all ever lived through, right? So there's that. There's selecting a franchisor who has strength of numbers, who has proven track record, who has a vision for the future, as you said, not arrogantly, but this is sort of already behind you. You're already looking to innovations for the future, right? So you're not stuck in one moment in time. And to that point, those people who did sign franchise agreements last year, that's what we were encouraging them to do, right? We were encouraging them to look up from this moment because when you say yes to a business like this, your life doesn't change the day after you say yes. I mean, inside you it does, right? But there's a process to securing the right location and constructing and getting it open. And so, as you were saying, for those people that could be forward thinking enough to say, if I put myself in position right now, then when this is all over, I'm going to be opening the business of my dreams that I'm extremely passionate about. And I'm going to be able to meet that pent up demand and help all these people who have been displaced from other clubs that didn't open. So everything you just said was just like, it's just a snowball and it's so amazing. It's why I wanted to have this conversation that I think will really inspire people because one of my goals with my candidates is always to help them open their mind to the possibilities. A lot of candidates come and I would do the same thing, like I think I know what I want or, just sort of like focused in on what they've done before. And while people may be passionate about health and fitness in their personal life, they might be like, oh, it's too trendy or, oh, it's saturated or, oh, like they have all these preconceived notions that it's not the right time or it's going to be too hard. And if they're willing to have an open mind and even in listen to a video like this, or better yet, get into a process through me with a company like you or with one of your brands to really see from the inside, how does it sound? How does it feel? What are the franchisees saying? What have they gone through? There's some amazing, amazing opportunities.
Couldn't agree more, and that's why we love working with great consultants like you, Kim, because that matchmaking process is incredibly important to building a strong system for us. I've, as been in franchising for a long time, seen franchise stores that have grown, largely organically, and as you said, candidates come in the process thinking that this is a really cool idea or something that they're passionate about, or they think it's a good business model, without really looking at the leadership and the track record and validating and really understanding, is this the right model for them? And what sometimes happens a lot is they'll get into that concept, and even if they do well, they're really unhappy or they hate what they're doing and they're not going to stay in that very long. And so we want really again, happy franchisees that are successful in our system, and the model that you build for candidates really enables us to have a great match and success on the other side of this, and that's ultimately what we're looking for. So kudos to you.
Beyond that, like more specifically, what is the value that a good franchise consultant brings to a franchisor?
Ah, like there's so many things, but I do find when working with a candidate that's not working with a consultant, there's so much that they don't understand about how to investigate, first of all, a brand or a business opportunity properly, and also coach them about how this industry really works. And there's so many components of that. But I think one of the bigger things that people don't quite understand when they come through a process organically is that this is a mutual evaluation process. The franchisor is not looking to sign up anybody, good ones, that has a pulse and a pen and a check. They're looking at it the opposite, from the opposite lens of the prospective franchisees. What are you offering us as a potential partner here? And are you going to be a good operator? Are you going to follow our blueprint for success in our plan here? Or are you going to, go rogue and kind of do your own thing or try to change the plan at every turn? Because those are our worst performing franchisees. I think the coaching process to let people know, look, you need them more than they need you. And so go into the process, obviously learning what you need to learn, but also realize that they're wanting to, discover if you're going to be a good partner for them. And there's a number of examples in the process, but another example is really, the franchise agreement. It's really an as-is document, and in most, again, good systems, large systems, they're just not going to change a word in that document. But, again, candidates that haven't worked with a good coach just think that they can redline the thing and then end up frustrated, or maybe even not moving forward with the franchise in the end, not understanding that that's across the board. That's not just because this one particular franchisor won't make changes. That's just the industry. And so I think that's where great coaching comes into play to explain to them, look, they're not out to get you with that agreement. That agreement is there to protect the brand, but also the investment that you're making in it. And that's why it's there. It's to protect you against that bad. I look at the thing as a homeowners association that protects you against that bad neighbor that's kind of messing it up for everybody else. And so the coaching that you do really helps them to understand our process, what we're looking for, and also help them to really evaluate, is this the right fit for them properly without having some of these misnomers. Again, some candidates think that, people that buy franchises have either, business experience or they've been in franchising. And it's the inversely, the opposite. I say 90% of our franchise community has never operated a franchise before. And we're good with that because, they like to follow the plan, and that's what we want to see.
Hey, Daly Coach fans, if you're inspired by this conversation, I invite you to email me right now to explore this franchise opportunity. My email is inquire@kimdaly.tv. It's great that, there's mutual respect on both sides. I couldn't do what I do and have fun helping people say yes to franchises without great franchisors like you. And it sounds like that you feel like you couldn't do what you do at the level you do it without great consultants like us who bring you highly, qualified people.
No question about it. And, at the end of the day, Anthony says this over and over again, and we're real transparent about it. We like to say we're in the royalty business, and what that means is the better our franchisees do, the better we do as a franchisor. So there's a lot that goes into that, but we want to really pour a lot of support into them to make sure that they're performing at a high level, because we win when they win. But it's also, again, really critical for us to bring strong operators in the system so that we can build value in our brand. And again, we find by the referrals that we get from you, we have an infinitely higher potential to match up with a strong partner than someone that's just kind of coming through thinking that this is what they want to do, but they're really not going to be a great operator or a good fit for our brand, or really understand the process, and they haven't really been set up for the right expectations to understand what franchising is and how to really leverage this vehicle the most that they possibly can.
I have to ask because it's sort of self-serving, but who was your rookie of the year last year in one of your biggest, fastest growing brands, and wherever did you find that franchisee?
I think her name is Sherry Beasley, and she was a placement of yours, in fact. And not only was she Rookie of the Year, she actually won a few awards and is one of our top performers in the Yoga Six system. So thank you so much for that placement and all your great placements that they've done so well in our systems. and again, are happy and expanding and growing. And we love to see that because everybody wins in that equation. But
And how many locations did Sherry open in 2020?
two, and signed a third lease, in fact. That's right.
Guys, this is why we're having this conversation. Like, it defies the logic of the time, right? To hear from the insider, not from Kim Daly, not from the outside, your family and friends who want to talk you out of your dreams. Like, if your dreams are in owning your own business, there is so much good news when you're willing to go inside and go direct to the source and talk to the people who are doing it. Lance, you're amazing. I could talk to you all day long. I appreciate your time so much. Like, you're just one of my favorite people in all of the franchise industry. So I appreciate you so much. Thank you so much for joining my show today. And if anybody wants to reach out to me, and hopefully they'll come to me first to get the pre-qualification in order to get back to you. But do you want to leave any contact information down in the chat notes for people? I guess we can do that. If you wanted to reach out directly to Lance, but probably better to come directly to me, correct?
I prefer them come through you, and then we'll see if you, again, do your thing and make sure that it's a good match for us.
Sounds great. I appreciate your time,
I appreciate
Lance. Thank you so
your
much.
time and all that you do. Thank you so much, Kim.
Isn't it inspiring to hear this amazing example of success that literally defies all odds and logic? It's so inspiring. If you are ready to begin your own due diligence process to determine if franchising is the right opportunity for you, please do not delay because you worry that this is not the right time to begin this process. If now is your time, please leave a comment below or contact me today. If you found this inspiring, please contact me at inquire@kimdaly.tv. My consulting services are totally free to you. Again, that email is inquire@kimdaly.tv. I can't wait to hear from you.